So recently I've kind of taken to writing quotes that I found in my sketchbook, and because the sketchbook is more or less complete or filled or finished or however you want to say a sketchbook is done, I thought I would go through some of my favourite ones. I've kind of become the, you know that relative you have that keeps sharing inspirational quotes on Facebook? This is my version of that, but all at once, so it's over and done with. Some of these might have attributed people who've said them, some of them won't, some of them might be wrong or said, repeated by someone else. Could have been someone quoting someone else and then they just got the quote attributed to them. So if anything's wrong, then don't kill me. Okay, so I wrote quotes from every Doctor from Doctor Who, so 1 to 12. And I tweeted recently, today on Twitter, about how much I love Doctor Who, so this is kind of important to me. So the first Doctor said, "There must be no regrets, no tears, no anxieties, just go forward in all your beliefs." The second Doctor said, "Life depends on change and renewal." The third Doctor said, "Courage isn't a matter of not being frightened, it's being afraid and doing what you have to do anyway." The fourth Doctor said, "There's no point in being grown up if you can't be childish sometimes." The fifth Doctor said, "For some people, small, beautiful events are what life is all about." The sixth Doctor said, "The waves of time wash us all clean." The seventh said, "Time will tell, it always does." The eighth Doctor said, "I can't make your dream come true forever, but I can make it true today." 9 said, "An ordinary man, that's the most important thing in creation." 10 said, "Some people live more in 20 years than others do in 80. It's not the time that matters, it's the person." 11 said, "There is, surprisingly always hope." And 12 says, "Sometimes the only choices you have are bad ones, but you still have to choose." When you do things right, people won't be sure you've done anything at all. Please, in all this muddle of life, continue to be bright and a constant star. Just a few things remain as beacons. Poetry, you, and solitude. So that was Rita Sackville in a letter to Virginia Woolf in 1926. Fail splendidly. Fail comfortably. Use failure as a redirect, not a measure of your worth or value. Fail beautifully. I like that one because I consider myself a failure a lot of the time. There's a crack in everything, that's how the light gets in. That's from Leonard Cohen. Nothing can save us forever, but a lot of things can save us today. You all have a little bit of "I want to save the world" in you. I want you to know that it's okay if you can only save one person, and it's okay if that person is you. The things we lose have a way of coming back to us in the end, if not always in the way we expect. That's a Luna Lovegood quote. I really like that one as well. Normality is a paved road. It's comfortable to walk, but no flowers grow. So Van Gogh wrote that one. I actually kind of want a tattoo of that, because it's one of my favorite quotes of all time, just in general. I just realized that the sun's gone in and maybe I'm like really, really dark. Yep, I am. Who cares? It's not really my face that matters in this video. Okay, and then I wrote a bunch of quotes from the 11th Doctor from Doctor Who because he's my Doctor. He's my first Doctor that I actively started following Doctor Who on. So he means a lot to me, and a lot of his quotes kind of have shaped how I view myself as a person. So here's a couple. The good things don't always soften the bad things, but vice versa, the bad things don't necessarily spoil the good things and make them unimportant. I am and always will be the optimist, the hoper of far-flung hopes and the dreamer of improbable dreams. We're all stories in the end, just make it a good one, eh? That's another one that I want to get tattooed. It's, as someone who prides themselves on narrative and storytelling, that is one of my favorite quotes of all time. The universe is big. It's vast and complicated and ridiculous, and sometimes, very rarely, impossible things just happen, and we call them miracles. What's the point in them being happy now if they're going to be sad later? The answer is because they're going to be sad later. Everything's got to end sometime, otherwise nothing would ever get started. And there's a quote from Harry Potter that I really love. To hurt is as human as to breathe. If we lived forever, maybe we'd have time to understand things. That's from What Remains of Edith Finch, which is a video game. I've never actually personally played it, but Jacksepticeye had a playthrough of it. That's where I got the quote, so I'll leave that, I want to say up there. The reason you get cold when you go outside on a freezing day is your tiny human body is trying to warm up the entire universe. Drowned in moonlight, strangled by her own bra. That's what Carrie Fisher wanted her obituary to say, regardless of how she died, and I admire that a lot. People are like vast rooms with tiny windows. That's from Simon versus the Homo sapien Agenda. That's this book here, which I would recommend to anyone looking for good queer novels. With our frail bones and delicate casings, any small misstep could send us reeling into eternity in the blink of an eye. Be yourself, everyone else is taken. It's not easy having a good time. Even smiling makes my face ache. That's from Rocky Horror Picture Show, which is one of my favourite movies of all time. And that is that. I can officially put the end on this sketchbook. This one has been going since May, which it obviously isn't a very long time, but I've accomplished a lot in the months that I've been doing this sketchbook. So thank you, you wonderful sketchbook. I will now retire you into the drawer where I keep all of my finished sketchbooks. Thank you for your service. Thank you for watching. I hope you have a fantastic day and an awesome veju, and I will hopefully see you tomorrow for my last video of veju, and goodbye.